Hi guys, welcome back to Garden Obsessed. It is maple syrup season, so I'm going to tap a few trees today and I'm going to take you along with me. First I'll go over some of the things that you will need if you also want to tap trees and have never done so before. So this is last year's maple syrup. Pretty color, really tasty. I don't actually know if we have sugar maples. There's a lot of red maples around. There are sugar maples around. We have quite a few maple trees where we live. Most of them are too small to tap, but we have one large tree that you could probably put 4 taps on. We're going to put 2 on it. And then we have another tree in our backyard that we put 1 tap on. And my parents have a few large maple trees that I think we might tap those this year as well. So the first thing you're going to need is a spile. So this is a maple syrup spile. These are the kind that we used the first year. Since then, we have switched to I'll show you this style. It's essentially the same thing, but this end here that goes into the tree is slightly narrower and is a little easier on the trees. So if I can minimize the damage that I'm doing, I'm going to do that. I want these trees to last a really long time. So I'll show you, just to kind of illustrate the difference, I'll show you the bits. All right, so this is the size difference in the bits. Quite a big difference. So this one is for the metal spiles that we had. It is 7/16 of an inch. And this is the one that we use for the blue spiles. And this is 5/16 of an inch. And we'll drill in about an inch and a half at most. So the next thing we're going to need is our collection bucket. So this is a 2-gallon bucket. It has a hole right here to hang on the tree, and I'll show you how the lid, the spile, and the bucket all works when we actually drill. And then this is our lid, and I'll show you how that connects. So let's go outside and drill some holes. Okay, here's our tree. It's a huge maple, as you can see. There's my hand against it. And you can see some of our previous holes. So this is one of the larger ones. I don't know if you can see how it's healed over. There's a hole in the bark, but the tree on the inside has healed. Here's one of our smaller ones. So generally you want to drill on the south side. The sap flows a little better on the south side of the tree. And we're kind of on the south side of it now. You want to go about 2 or 3 feet up, and you want to keep your buckets or your spiles 6 inches minimum away from one another. So I'm just going to drill one right now. Jarrett wanted to do it with me, so I'm only going to do one without him. So I'm going to be off south a little bit because we've already put holes here. And I want to kind of spread it around. You also want to kind of drill up at a slight angle. So let's go here. Sure we get it cleaned out. All right. Okay, so I'm going to hang my bucket. There's a hook on the bottom of the spile. And there's a spot here where the lid can go. I'm going to flip this up, pull it out. Hard to do with one hand. Pulled it out too far. So this is gonna sit right here. And go through. Oops. And I'll snap it back in place. So there's our bucket. Okay, so we've got a tap into one of our trees. It's a start. It doesn't take very long to do, as you can see. It's pretty simple, easy process. I'd go ahead and do them all, but I think I'd be in big trouble if I did that. So just a couple of notes. We usually do this. Today is March 7th. We typically do this about a week before now, either the end of February or the very beginning of March. We had a cold snap this year that kind of set everything behind a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't affect our sap season too much. I know some people did go ahead and put some spiles in early, and they did get some sap, so maybe we should have done that too. But typically what you're looking for is you want about above 0 through the day, maybe no more than like 5 degrees or so, kind of that range, and then still freezing at night. And what that does is that freeze-thaw cycle creates pressure in the tree that allows the sap to flow up. I don't think it's supposed to get super warm today, maybe like 0 or 1 degree, something like that, but it's nice and sunny out. I'm hoping that that will start the sap flowing. Usually when I tap the trees, you can see sap right away, and I didn't notice any today. So I think that might just be a function of we had a couple of cold days the last few days, and just maybe the sap isn't flowing so good yet. And it also might be that I'm off the southern face of the tree, maybe a little too far. We might have to reassess where my hole placement was, or when we add the second tap, we'll put it more on the south face and see if that helps. So I hope this was useful to you. If you've never tapped a maple tree before, you should definitely try it. You need about, typically they say you need about 40 gallons to 1 gallon of maple syrup. There's a range there. Sugar maples are usually known for a higher sugar content than some of the other maples, but certain trees can have a better ratio too. It just depends. And I'll go through that process when we actually do our boil and boil down to get our maple syrup. Typically we boil it to a certain temperature. We don't have anything to actually test the actual sugar content, so we go by temperature, and you know, the look and viscosity of it too. It'll start to thicken and darken, and you can tell when it's getting to that syrup state. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative. Thanks for watching.